Wasabi Gangsters. It's me, Chance. We're doing another weekly update. This one is a big one. And then I have another video. If you haven't seen, go check it out. I'm recording this one first. So I haven't recorded that one, so I don't exactly know what I say, but I announced the first week of the giveaway for the next 10 weeks leading up to the release of Mercy Tears of the Fallen. I'm going to be doing different methods of delivery for the giveaway. So go check that out. I'm going to be doing art giveaways for physical art giveaways for people that I'm really looking forward to. So that will explain everything there. Now let me get into my reading, and then I will get into my writing at the end. So I did do a bit more of Berserk. We finished volume 22. We're on to volume 23 now. We did the Snow and Fire situation, got a little more background on Serpico, I think his name is, Serpico, and Lady Farnese, and that was wild. But I also finished up the Falcon of the Millennium something arc that was very, very good. I mean, we got in. All right, I'm going to do spoilers. I'm going to mark this, okay? But 3, 2, 1. Okay, so spoilers for everything up to volume 22 of Berserk, or the end of volume 22. We got a lot that happened in the volume with Griffith. We started to see him more. We got the evil Avengers coming together at the end, which I cannot wait to see what all of these villains do for Griffith. And you see him come in and just quote unquote save Midland, and it is going to be so cool to see how this progresses. And then we get a little bit of the twisted backstory of Lady Farnese and her I call him a concubine. I think that's the right term. Her subject, and we find out he is her half brother, and through some really twisted I think it's the Vermilion family, very cool name that I'm totally blowing. And I'm very excited to see where that goes. Now that we know more about him and about her and their relationship and how a little crazy she is in a lot of regards, I'm excited to see how their connection and convergence lines up with the Guts and with Griffith. Now you can tell it's later than when I usually record because I'm going super slow. So that is my manga for the week. Now I'm going to roll up my sleeves for no reason because it's hot. Actually, bear with me. I could take off this sweater, but I think I'm just heating up as I talk. Don't mind me, or the pillow behind me. Actually, I'm going to put that up. Feels comfy. All right. Now, I'm about a little over 40% done with The Prophet of Edan. Loving this so far. This one is a step up from the first book. I love the first book. The stakes have really risen here, and we're starting to see the scope of the world that now Day Raven is. I don't want to say too much. Is facing. I'll say that. That's a good phrase. I didn't get an Orvindil chapter this past week. Dude, chapter? I'm just making words up now. That's wild. So I didn't get an Orvindil chapter this week, but I expect that there will be one before next week. I'm trying to make some ground here. There's a lot with the writing stuff and the writing portion of the video that I'll get to that's kind of slowing down my reading again. Even though I took some time off to try and burn through some reading, it still wasn't as pleasant as I thought it would be in that regard. So yeah, I am making my way through this. I am loving the stakes of this world. I'm loving, obviously, the writing. Philip Chase's writing is incredible, and just the way that the atmosphere is painted is a really good. Maybe it's a good way for me to articulate it. It's just so apparent. It's so apparent the world we're living in, and you see it on every page. If that doesn't describe this to you, I don't know what will. But The Prophet of Edan is a big step up in terms of stakes, and I love seeing that. I love seeing the characters go through the things that they're going through, and we're seeing some time skips along the way forward, that some progressions that are really showing us how fast things can kind of go wrong here. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Now that that's done, I started. You guys see all the time. I'm not one of the people that's going to face you guys are seeing it and you're like, oh, I don't want to watch, or I want to watch. You guys get it now. I'm part of the team. We got this Will of the Many. I started this because I'm doing a buddy read with Jimmy Nuts, Jake, John from Talking Story, Jake from Nerd Level Rising, and Philip Chase, actually. Funny enough, just talked about him. We're doing this. I think we're going to have a conversation in June. So I started this on the audio, and actually the audiobook narrator is very good. My thing with audiobooks, and I also tried starting Shadow of the Torturer because I watched their discussion of Shadow of the Torturer, and I really wanted to reread it because I love their Book of the New Sun. It's one of my favorite book series of all time. And I just really got an itching to read it after their conversation. Just really amped me up to kind of get back into it. And I love doing audio. I need to be very intentional and set on listening to audiobooks, because strolling through New York and getting on the subway, the stimulus, just the amount of faces that I see, it is so hard for my brain to focus on the words I'm listening to. So if I'm intentional with my audiobooks, I think I'll be able to get this done before the end of the month. Obviously, I'm going to get it done before our conversation. I have to be intentional about that, because I am, to my word, I'm going to be a part of that conversation. I'm actually excited to be a part of that conversation. I think this is a series I'm really going to enjoy, and we have the second book coming out, I think, in the fall, or before the summer. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this series. And based on the first chapter alone, the intrigue that we're getting in James Islington's writing, I'm loving the fashion and the style of this story so far. Only one chapter in, but it was a pretty long chapter. Yeah, so I'm very excited to continue that and I guess get more into it. Now, this is kind of a mini book haul here before we get into the writing update. I picked up 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I was at this, we were in Doylestown, Pennsylvania for a wedding, and we stopped into a small bookshop, but it was actually a big bookshop. It was a small bookshop, you know what I mean? And I decided to, of course, of all the books, I pick up a Stephen King book, but in a small bookshop, you're like, I might as well support all of them. But I picked up a Stephen King book, 11/22/63. This is one that I am very much looking forward to reading. And I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I saw it. It was calling my name for some reason in that moment at that location. And I did it. I pulled the trigger. Then we have the long-awaited physical edition of Discovery. Now, this has been a long time coming. I love this book. If you guys haven't picked this one up, it's from the Talking Story family, John, Amy, and Jacob. They put this together. It is a work of passion. They collaborated. They created something absolutely wonderful. And I unintentionally picked up Stephen King before mentioning them, but there was a lot of reminiscence in reading this story to my favorite Stephen King book, The Stand, a top 10 book of mine of all time. I felt like I was almost there. It felt different, and it felt in its own way. It was unique. Discovery, but I enjoyed meeting all of the characters, all of the different narratives that are intertwining slowly, the different phases of what we're seeing in this world. I don't want to get too into it because it'd be too spoilery, but it is a very intriguing book outside of my regular wheelhouse. It's cosmic horror, I believe, technically, but it was an amazing read. I left a review actually of this up on Goodreads, and I stand by every word in that, in relating it to Stephen King and how much I enjoyed that story. Then we got our broken binding edition of The Devils. Here, this is a beautiful edition. Holy heck. Just a Joe Abercrombie book. I had to pull the trigger on it. What am I? I'm a human. I'm a human. All right, and I believe I talked about my J.L. Odom pickup, my Anna Smith Spark pickup last week. So we're going to get into my writing update. For y'all that are here just for reading, thank you so much for tuning in the last 8 minutes. I'm grateful you stopped by, and I'll see you next week. Now, let's get to the writing stuff. So, book one came back. By book one, I mean Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. You guys see that? Check it out. All right, the spine, beautifully done by Abel. I mean, he utilized a lot of the things that Stuart Bach gave me, and just made something perfect. He really did. And the typography, Abel Montero did. The cover was done by Stuart. And I mean, I got 6 boxes of this out there, which is related to the giveaway I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to talk about that in this video because there's a whole video that I'm filming after this dedicated to that. But let me talk about my writing really quick. So the proofread of Mercy, Tears of the Fallen, the final proofread done by Annette Bleakwell, she sent it to me, and so I'm going through it this week. I started using Microsoft Word, figure I had to become an adult and do that. And I'm just reading through it, making sure everything looks good. The formatting, she made everything much simpler for me to plug in, or Abel's also going to help me with that, to plug into the software to get it out for production. And now we have these physical ARCs. They will be going on giveaway. The physical paperback editions, I have to navigate the sale of that. We have, again, 10 weeks until release. So there's still some things we're ironing out in that regard. But I am very much looking forward to finishing. I'm about on chapter 20 of 46 chapters, plus a quote-unquote epilogue in book one that I will be reading through. And yeah, I just am so excited just seeing this. And then there's so many people right now that are reading it and sending me messages, and I love that. Keep doing that, please. It's awesome to hear your guys' thoughts as you go. and is a story I'm very passionate about, and I love just conversing about it. There's some people reading it right now that are enjoying it. Zachary Shea, he did a video. I'll actually link the description. In the description, the video he did reviewing the book, the advanced copy that he received, and I'm just so excited. He's also alpha reading book 2 for me, which is I'll cat's out of the bag on that. Book 2 is already in the hands of some alpha readers, but I'm very excited to hear his thoughts on book 2. But his video review was excellent, and John over at Talking Store talked about it as well a little bit in his weekly reader, and I think he finished it up this week. So we'll see his thoughts on Monday, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm just very excited. It's nerve wracking because, of course, it's not going to fit everyone's fancy. And I mean, it hasn't so far. If you guys can check out the reviews on Goodreads, it's doing fine. It's just, some people pick it up and, they get to a certain point and it's just not their cup of tea, which is fine. But the overwhelmingly positive reviews and the detail that people go into in their reviews and just the different characters everybody loves, it's overwhelming for me. It's surreal. And it's funny enough, ironically enough, it's overwhelming, but I don't know. It's been a journey. I'm really excited to send these out. I just got them tonight, so I wasn't able to mail them out. It's Thursday right now. I'm filming this. You guys are seeing this Friday. I will be mailing out. Everybody who knows they're getting one is getting one. And then we will be doing 10 weeks of giveaways for you guys to be receiving these. Okay. So, the video will describe all that I post actually tonight. I'm going to record that one. You guys will probably see that one first before this one. So I'm hoping that you guys know what to expect at that point, what we're seeing. So yeah, book 3, we're going to start drafting that pretty soon here. I think as soon as I'm done with a proofread of book 1, the final proofread of book 1, with book two in the hands of pre-alpha readers. And by the way, alpha readers, if you guys signed up in that ARC form, I will be reaching out to you this month. I'm going to send out another Google form via email to you guys, and I'll have you guys fill it out, see if you're still interested, of course, and then ask some questions related to what I'm looking for and if you'd be able to provide that as alpha readers. So yeah, that is essentially the book updates, the writing updates. The proofread's going well. Book 2 is in the hands of alpha readers, and book 3 is starting soon. As soon as I finish this proofread of book 1, I don't think I'm going to take a day off after. I think I just have to send it because there's a scene I have in my head of how I want this book to start that is just sitting there and it's lingering, and I have to write it. It's just one of those things that's like prodding at my brain, begging to get out. And it's not going anywhere. Trust me, I thought about this like 2 weeks ago, maybe longer, and it's definitely longer. I thought about this like when I was finishing wrapping book 2, the first draft, and it's been sitting there, but the clarity of it has really come to me these last 2 weeks, and I cannot wait to get to it. So if you guys are interested, I do my writing updates, my physical ones. I do these, but I also write a physical one on my newsletter. You guys can sign up on my website down below. I usually post that Thursday evening, so you guys will see that early. But otherwise, it's on my Patreon. That's for free. You guys can check that out every week. Every Friday morning, it'll be up. I post these videos on Friday mornings. I usually attach the video to the writing updates. So you guys can, if you want to get a little bit more insight into my brain as I type out my writing updates, just different mediums for everybody. You usually see things in there a little bit more detailed, down to the word count of, let's say if I'm drafting book 3, you'll see the weekly word count up there pretty precisely, whereas here I'll probably just give a summation of like where I'm at roughly. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing this dialogue with you guys, and I love that you guys are enjoying the book. If you are enjoying the book, if you're not enjoying it, I'm grateful that you're taking the time to read it. Seriously, it means the world that you decided to pick this up and read it. I know how difficult it can be to like have a TBR and have different priorities and then throw a book in front of the line, and I'm so grateful that you guys are doing that at all, especially with my book, with my project, with this story, with this world. It means the world to me. And now after that great heartfelt exit, we're going to do a completely unprovoked, unawkward ending to my video, which every week we do just for you guys who are new. Go ahead, leave a comment, like, subscribe. There won't be any uncomfortable time at the end of this video due to the heartfelt message that came prior to this one. Because if I did that, oh, man, could you imagine if I made it awkward between you and me after that? Could you imagine that? If I did that, could you guys imagine if I did that after that heartfelt message, if I made it awkward between you and me? That'd be crazy. The show must go on. I will see you guys next week. We'll do a flat. We're over 15 minutes, so we're just going to sit here together, you and me, whoever you are. I don't know who you are, but you don't want to miss it. You really don't want to miss the ending of these videos. The endings of these videos are they get pretty serious. We go from having a hoot and holler in time to just this absolutely asinine ending of a video. Doesn't make any sense at this point why I keep doing it. Go check out the Discord too, Book Street Boys. It's in the description. There's a bunch of stuff in the description. All right. You can go to the socials. You can just do all that. That's there every week. You know, it's got stuff. So the blurb to the, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. All right. Look, I'll see you guys next week. Jeez, you guys are weird.